spots for both teams, but both teams have won their last 4 out of 5 games on Dust2, so there should be like common ground as far as recency, with both teams feeling pretty comfortable about how to approach it. And it's not like Dust2 is some type of enigma. Like, you know, it's a pretty well solved map. It's just all about your timings, when you choose to do certain things, and how clean you are with doing the basics.
I feel like the only thing that's come to bite 3D Max on Dust2 at this tournament has... Okay.
I got to cut you off, Maui. All right, Dust and Maui, thank you so much for your thoughts. We've got about 3 seconds left before 3D Max and Team Liquid kick off. It's our first semi-final of the CS Asia Champions 2025. Let's get our cast involved. Scriv and Neo, over to you.
Yes, thank you very much. I would say perfect timing on that, because we take over as soon as the action starts here, of course, which is exactly what we like. Dust2 to kick us off here on an early morning. Team Liquid just hanging outside of B here. I think they're predicting some aggression. They would be somewhat correct. Graviti down below with these Julies is in this advanced position, looking to take some early fights. Going to wait for them to come to him, and he might just be rewarded here. Super crisp. Looking for a little bit more, but not getting greedy. This is a really nice move from him, I think.
Yeah, and he doesn't need to move. They have to hard clear him, and it's such a difficult spot to clear. So 2 for him. Flashbang comes over as Mac is playing backside up towards the box. Graviti can start to make a move as they scale, but Mac is probably going to get one, and he does. He drops the bomb, and it's going to make life very difficult, especially now that ultimate also drops. All on the shoulders of the young IGL, and Shuhei should be dead to rights. He is. Graviti closes it with a sumptuous round. 3 kills to his name, and that's the way that 3D Max wanted to start into their opponent's map pick.
Yes, this is very true. I mean, we've got a lot of interest in this veto and the way that it's gone and where it's been allowed to end up as well on that Inferno that raises a few eyebrows.
Yeah, I think I've got to agree with Maui here. I really don't know why Liquid have let it go towards the Inferno. I mean, we saw yesterday just how poor 3D Max played on Train. And I know, don't get me wrong, Liquid haven't exactly been fantastic on it, but it feels like, where's the glaring issues? There was a lot of issues for 3D Max on that map, and yeah, Liquid ban it in that second wave. So yeah, it's a strange one for me that they let Inferno come through. I think it is inherently a bit of a risk. We'll see if we even get there first, right? I guess one step at a time. 3D Max, good start for them. Dust2's had some nice moments as well, so I'm not going to count them out of this map just yet.
Glocks in the longhouse, looking to burst out and maybe just find the 1 kill. After some damage, they have been spotted here. Oh. Crisp from Exorcist, and yeah, he's feeling it a little bit. Flash comes in for another one. And a bit more. Scout now getting involved. M4 now getting involved. Oh. That's a collapse. And a long-range USP to hammer it home. Maka making himself known here, so a really nice start for 3D Max. They get a clean pistol, a clean anti-eco. There was nothing on the end of it for Liquid, sure, but just a bit of an individual moment here or there. There's only the 1 kill coming in for the side of Liquid, so it's a standing start for them. They're really going to have to get this engine going, and it might take a few spins before it gets started.
Even Maka looks shocked that he got the kill out as well. You can see him even sort of working it out. Have I actually just done that? Was a nothing round, as you mentioned. So first attempt at a buy. Let's see. Maka, right idea. He stays posted. If anybody jump peeks up, it's a inherent risk, but he gets out of dodge at just the right time. Just as Team Liquid start to reclaim a little bit of mid-presence, he starts to pull away. Body going to get tagged through that smoke. It's just a fortunate spam of the smoke. Speaking of, broken open. Can't get the information just yet. They're really trying to just get a little bit of damage off just as they're scaling in towards this short control.
It is once again very commonplace. Liquid starting from the ground up in terms of the approach. Naf just trying to keep attention towards B. There's a well-timed smoke that comes in. Looks like here in the semi-final opening rifle round, as you may well expect, Liquid are just keeping things simple. However, with the player over at B still at this stage of the round, I do feel that they might try one of those late pivots towards B, perhaps, as he gathers information. You can see there's a pull away that isn't necessarily needed from 3D Max. The B-bomb site itself is going to be pretty weakly defended. Send a player in, get him dropped, see what he can get away with. Oh. And they are indeed moving quickly towards B here. It's been predicted. The setup is solid from 3D Max. Graviti going to need another to make us happy. 2 will do. And Naf was meant to be the man to clear the site. There's nobody home. 3D Max read them like a book, and it's worked out brilliantly. Naf going to try and give us something. It's not going to happen, though. 10 HP. Down he goes. And Graviti, the man of the hour.
Yeah, quad kill coming through. Leading by example, the young IGL as 3D Max find yet another. That's a bonus buy converted as well, which is so good for momentum. But Graviti, that decision to stand tall, stand strong, and just say, right, I am going to go down with the ship here. He needed a bit of a heroic moment. He had to get a second kill, but to line up the third, beautiful work coming through from Graviti. 7-0 for him out the gates. You know, obviously that triple in the pistol. And the quad kill there, Liquid left down to nothing. Okay, the pistols is as good as it gets, so it should be a simple fourth again for the French side. I mean, especially if they can deny a bomb plant again. That's a beautiful spot to be in out the gates.
Yeah, we worry immediately for Team Liquid, as they are still yet to get going, yet to appear into the game. 3D Max, meanwhile, clearly been shooting some bots or something, because they are looking very crisp and very energetic at the moment.
Oh, hello.
Shuhei.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. We've seen it live and direct. Shuhei fluffs his lines. NertZ getting the better of him. The rest of the team frustratingly trying to push forwards in towards this B bomb site. And only Alicia's chimed in. They know about him. There's no way he can fully break through. He might be able to take another head. We've seen those stats in the pre-show. We know what he's capable of, but not going to happen here. And 3D Max moving up to 4. Ooh, not a good sign. Listen, IGL individually, whatever, but you got to get the easy ones, man.
It was there.
Especially early in the game. Pause coming in. Not a good sign here for Liquid.
No, not at all. He had that gap. He managed to find his way through the smoke. One small little point I want to bring up that I actually really liked, actually the way that Graviti played that. They didn't actually get any kills, but after the initial spray fails, he just draws attention on that right-hand side, and it allows, as the molly comes down, actually for somebody else to reclaim the kills. So it gets assists just by proxy for Graviti. It's a patience play, and it all works really, really well. Decent crowd out here, which is exactly what we want to see. We've got some good Counter-Strike here for your first semi of the day. This is a big one. And this really feels like two of the best teams at the tournament as well that are left in here. So this semi-final has got a little bit of final vibes about it.
Definitely hit the on paper best of the top, but also they have been playing the best.
Yeah.
So certainly exciting to get into, and Liquid are one of those teams similar to FaZe maybe that the community kind of gets behind. Everybody wants them to succeed. They've got a couple players in here that are fan favorites.
Of course.
So we want to see these guys do well. And 3D Max just keep getting better and better for me every time I watch them. Really a team that's improved an awful lot over the past 3 months, let alone 6 or 12. So this is a tournament that coming into it, we felt they were probably the favorite. Not a clear favorite.
Yeah.
But certainly the favorite.
Now I've got to find the opener. Maka overextends through Oppa, and that'll be at the cost of his life. And unfortunately, not a lot of information gained behind it. Lucky by name and nature as he catches the head of Elise, just creeping out in towards the A side. They were trying to scale up there. Naf hits another shot, and now he's got the B side to himself, and you can already see it's a foot race back to join him. And it's one in which, at this point, 3D Max lose. And getting across these double doors is a treacherous state. They might actually angle for a save here.
Yeah, I think so. Naf has been given free reign over on this B side of things quite a bit. Didn't work for them the last time they approached it. Seems they go for a very, very similar round to the opening rifle that did not work for them at all. So kind of good to see in a sense that they still have confidence in their calls and they look to make it work. This time it does work a lot better. Just a few tweaks, and I think one of them being Naf gets more aggressive a little earlier in the round than he did previously, and it pays off. I think he's really been playing well so far this tournament. A little quiet into this game, but a big impact round from him.
Yeah, talk about a time to get 2 kills, right? I mean, he obviously was yet to get on the board, and it's 2 massively important ones. That second fight is the real kind of make or break. That one towards Graviti. If Graviti wins that whole round actually starts to go up in air for Liquid, because they were a bit of a known quantity as they were moving in towards the A site. When Elige falls as well, of course, we look towards Elige a lot in terms of the entering department. When he drops, then we get to a point of things being quite concerning for Liquid. But thankfully, Naf steps up in the way that we required of him. So, first run on the board for Liquid, finally, on their map pick. And now it needs to start being the first of many. Let's build up a little bit of form here. Graviti tagged through the doors. He starts the round out at 26 points of HP before he even sees a person. So early small advantage for Liquid here in round number 6.
Unconfirmed, so that's certainly something to consider here. As Liquid not necessarily going to be able to work off it. Not much that Maka can do about that smoke. However, the push out towards Longhouse is successful.
It's a bold call.
Able to dip back. It's a big call, but it's very, very useful for them. You know, that HP now kind of nullified a little, and you have a lot to deal with if you're Liquid. How do you regain that space? Do you just give up Longhouse even?
Lurk smoke towards mid, a flash over, but don't take any control off of that. The numbers favoring 3D Max here, if they just play a bit more of a default, they should be absolutely fine. I mean, Shuit, there's rights here. Absolutely, the Shadow betrays him, and Ultimate, he could be joining him very soon in the casket if he can't hit this quick shot. excl is still toying with it. The spam's there, but Ultimate doesn't bite, doesn't nibble on the line, and at least gets one back, but it's still a 2 versus 4, and what feels like at this point, with less than 40 seconds on the clock, a next to impossible round. 3D Max would have to massively overextend for this one to slip away.
Maka's off angle. Oh, I was going to say, is he going to break that boundary and move forwards? The answer is yes. Tip of the head. Crazy how that's not a wall back. Definitely looked like it should have been. Naf finds himself alone. Got a few options here, you know. They are very, very split. Oh, one more clean fight and maybe you start to believe in him, but not going to happen. 3D Max back in with a round. I mean, Liquid struggling, absolutely struggling, it has to be said. And, you know, that round very clean once again from 3D Max. No real risk. They pull off some calculated aggression, which if that kind of thing is working for them, I think they are on cloud 9. Team Liquid with another tack pause here to just try and stop the bleeding, to be honest. It is hemorrhaging at the moment, not looking good.
Yeah, it's also something that Elige himself brought up in the pre-show and when he was kind of getting interviewed, and he said that we know 3D Max really are risk takers. We know they like to go for these slightly unorthodox plays, especially at the moment, right? And they can be sort of agents of chaos, right? They can really try to make life super difficult in the server, and we've got to find ways to break that down. At the moment, they just can't, right? So second tack pause taken as Flashy re-enters the conversation himself, trying to find some level of form for Liquid at the moment. But it's not been the start. Not only are the individuals not really showing up, I mean, you've got 4 players on 1 kill as we enter into the 7th round. They're just being broken down as a team. They're not doing anything really at the moment. A tough display. What a beautiful one from 3D Max. Not even breaking a sweat in the early part of this series. And just to remind you again, Dust2 is Liquid's pick.
A bit faster.
Forward.
Yeah, they are indeed. Yeah, feeling it this time around. Moving through the molly, catching a player with nade in hand. So a bit more to this round. Some get up and go. Definitely what they've talked about in that timeout. There's long presence from 3D Max. That's about all they've got to keep us hooked in this round. I feel like with this bomb going down, unless something happens from excl, who has the read. Oh, can't find the kill. I don't know, man. I feel like you maybe move to save. They've got a lot of money, but just doesn't feel likely. However, this is 3D Max. They do not listen to conventions. They will indeed move in. Lucky just blindly spraying inside the smoke. Just not happening, is it? I could have seen that from a million miles away, the way the setup looked, the way that the retake was shaping up. And Team Liquid with a pace change, find success.
And Lucky would have had to, by name and nature in a sense, sort of get one of the most fortunate sprays through that smoke on the Goose player for there to be any sort of a world back in towards that site. I think you're right. I think the second you lose that sight there, it just feels like the right call. When Cease falls in particular, he is the sort of the last-ditch effort of any sort of control coming through. And he gets a really important kill on the site itself, but the fact that he can't find NertZ, that basically means statistically you've got next to no chance of getting back in. The tempo shifts coming through from Liquid here, but they're trying to bite back, and Graviti and XST are combining so damn well. Graviti, the B anchor for the majority of this start, changes up off the back of his spawn, plays out towards long, and in a matter of mere moments, Liquid are left down to 1, all on the shoulders of Elige, and he gets clipped by Body. What a response. Liquid step up the tempo, so 3D Max say, we'll take a leaf out of your book.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the thing. You wake the dragon, as it were. And 3D Max can be pretty good at fighting fire with fire, coming up with fresh ideas themselves. The sporadic rounds for Team Liquid thus far, honestly going to be more detrimental to them. They really have to figure this one out. They've only got one timeout left. Do they want to burn it this early on in the game? There certainly feels to be some nervousness to this team, whereas 3D Max, who've been here a few times this year in these types of situations, but against much bigger names, they look comfortable. They really are playing well. Well-timed smoke forces them back. Oh, the AWP's in the right place, but gives up the angle, and now got to be very careful. Just creeps away. Smokes are still in play to allow him to do that. They will start to go down. There's another AWP in B. They're pretty close to each other as well, so chaotic setup here. It has certainly crept in for 3D Max thanks to the previous round, but it would seem Liquid just grabbing a pause at the moment.
Yeah, this round right here is on a bit of a knife's edge. This first kill could be everything, and, well, it's going to go the way of Maka. Shuhei running through the flames on the molly as Maka makes it 2, looking for the third, and he gets attacked through the door. Ultimate left reeling. 2 points of HP as he opts for the AK. The spam could get it, but it's Body who delivers. Liquid, there was so much all on that mid-fight. It all was on the shoulders of that first engagement, and it falls flat, and now they're left down to 2. Make that 1 as Naf is dropped again by Body. Oh, Liquid, it was so close yet so far, and now it feels like a next to impossible situation as NertZ scoops up the AWP and loses his head. That is a damning way to lose the round.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Really quite rough again to watch for Liquid. The desperation starting to seep in here.
Yeah.
Something is awry in the Liquid camp, which is really not good. This is their call. Then we got this weird sort of nuke, their map, I should say. We got this nuke to deal with in the next. It seems like, and I think the reason why they allow it to go to the decider, the prep work would have been pretty heavily in Inferno. You've got to expect it to come out against 3D Max. So we'll see. But look, if they just cannot match on an individual level and 3D Max are able to come away with openers like this, you just don't have that belief in Liquid.
This is the thing, right? It's all well and good having the prep and the idea, and they definitely would have thought, you know, especially because of the debate of where do we go as the opening map for 3D Max. They've got to have had protocols set up for Dust2, but it just doesn't matter. They cannot hit their shots right now. 3 have dived in towards CT. Lucky, what have you got for us? Just the 1. As they do actually get up in towards the side. This is not exactly the easiest retake now.
That's true. Oh, the car kill is big.
That helps.
I think that was really the linchpin position. If there was a rifle there, it would have been a different story, but not the case. So some crazy shots going to be required.
Oh, speaking of.
Thank you very much. Couple more of those, perhaps. Not ready for another player at long. Oh, he's so close, but they just don't quite land in the head. The M4 can't get it done. Oh, there's a world, isn't there, for Elige?
Yeah.
Got his crosshair there fast, but the bullets did not land. And 3D Max, they will survive this one.
I guess you can take the silver linings away from it in just the sense that they didn't have a lot to bring to the table there, Liquid. They do get a bomb plant, but we're actually already at the point now where the silver linings aren't really a thing. It's 8 rounds in the first half here on their map pick. At this point, who gives a damn about silver linings? We've got to get rounds here. I mean, Liquid, I feel like if they don't get 4, they don't get these remaining 2, they're in a world of trouble, right? The deficit that they have to try and recover from, it might even just be too tall of a kind of mountain to climb here. So these final 2 rounds, well, it still is the first half, just knowing how good 3D Max can be on their T side, and we saw how loose and fast they can play it. We're in make or break territory here. for Team Liquid. And it goes back to the point that you brought up in the previous round. It just feels like individually it's not even close.
Molotov pushes Maka back. He will respond in kind. Looks to be a B move here. Oh, a missed shot. A big missed shot, actually. They will burst out towards B. Graviti goes a little early. The impatience gets the better of him. They're going to move through CT here. Not checking cleanly. Shuhei delivers. And Maka is alone. This will most certainly be a save. It looked like a dangerous move, didn't it? But the one missed AWP shot just makes all of the difference. Some impatience. If Graviti had held his trigger, he could have got multiple, but not the case.
Making it expensive.
Hold on. So it's not even halfway gone yet. He's going to go for this. I mean, they have plenty of cash available. Molotov, unfortunately, in the wrong spot, so not much that happens in the end, but some decent damage. I don't think it's going to matter too much. We've only got one round left of the half.
Well, you said it though, right? Liquid need the remaining 2 of this half to really stand any sort of chance. Graviti, you know, in hindsight, trigger discipline really should have been the kind of the protocol there, but I think because it's actually so big of a space between the entry and then the pack, he actually thinks that it is just a lurk, and he doesn't want to cost his teammates in towards mid their lives. So I can sort of understand why he doesn't play the discipline there. It's just been a hindsight thing he should have. Yeah, like you said, that missed AWP shot, just like that missed AWP shot, really could make a difference. Shuhei, last couple of rounds, has found his form a little bit. The 2 kills in towards mid, and that one there have given Liquid a lot of space to work with now. Yes, he's responded in kind of a nade that leaves him reeling, but that's good information gained here.
A little bit of a skateboard move, to be fair. Looks really nice. As it happens, Elise going to be gifted one as well. That's with the recovered AWP, mind you. So, dominoes falling here. Shuhei with another. The crispness continues. Liquid have a fire lit beneath them. I think when you see the 8 rounds, you're like, damn, okay, we're going to need a couple more, otherwise this game is over. Lucky.
He's spotted, I think.
Yeah, he's not considering it. Oh, neither of them are. They get the 2 for 1. NertZ will finish it. And the 8-4 turn of the half.
We said they needed it. They get it. And now this game still stays up in the air a little bit. You know, for Liquid, you get a pistol and a force to follow up, and it's a 2-round game. That's 1 gun round being the difference. At that point, you can start to believe, you can start to understand the sort of trajectory required for Liquid getting back into this. The other side of it, though, is that, I mean, especially from what we saw yesterday, 3D Max's pistol protocols are really good. They won, I think it was like 5 out of 6 pistols yesterday. They were really, really clean with them. And we saw how cleanly they took the opener in towards this map. So Liquid still have to find a lot of small marginal victories that have got to compile into the recovery required. But those final 2 rounds, there's at least something to fall back on. They're chipping away at the momentum as well. It's not a foregone conclusion just yet.
Wonder who lives up there, the king of Dust2, maybe. But yes, this is, for me, time to shine for Team Liquid. Why did you pick into this map? You've got to show us. Starts with a pistol. 3D Max can be hard to put away in these types of rounds as well. So, pressure mounting for Liquid. But if they can get this, we start that conversation. A lot of utility brought up for Graviti. No P250 raid boss here, so going to be relatively simple. Perhaps out middle with a CT smoke to cover the cross. We'll find out.
Good setup so far. Oh, what a shot from NertZ. Needed that. It's a good start. And he gets one of his own as well. And he gets one and he gets out. They just don't expect the audacity of those fights, 3D Max, and they're just caught short-handed. The back player is going to be really important to shutting them down, and Naf will get one. So all on the shoulders now of Graviti and Body in a 2 versus 4. This is looking very good for Liquid. Graviti's spotted on the retreat, but he does get out. And he actually has a full belt of util to work with, 2 flashes and a smoke, but he's alone here.
He really wants to save it, I think. Is the problem. He will be spotted now, so maybe figures that he's got to do something with it before he loses it. Oh, okay. Shuhei Not quite able to come away with it. The double swing comes in. He's done some decent damage, not really taken much himself. 40 seconds left. They're going to rotate everyone in now, try and take the fights, keep them at bay. There's really not a lot of time for 3D Max to get anything done here. Flasher's going to come in, give it another peek. But again, just not feeling all that good. 20 seconds to make it all the way up long, get through 3 players, get the bomb down. It's a tough ask, I think it's safe to say. There's now a smoke in the way as well. Not happening. Body's 11 HP. Okay, some kills maybe. Couple would be nice if he can get them. Not going to be the case. And Liquid open the door to the comeback now.
Yeah, they needed that, and it's a really, really good pistol round in the end. It's just 2 early fights that make all the difference, that swing all the momentum in their favor. NertZ's opener is so sharp. I mean, oh my god, he barely sees anything. But it's that kill by Elige there. You take a bit of short control. You know it's not a pack scaling up, which is actually a pretty common default for 3D Max as well. And it puts you now in a pretty nice spot. We are going to get the scout board up for Maka. He actually sells it in the end. So there we go. It's a full save across the board. He buys the scout to buy a decoy to sell the ruse of a force. But it's not a force, it's just a pistol. Small little move there, I kind of like it. I don't know if Liquid will be caught short by it in this round or the next. We shall see. Ultimate Elige combining the MP7 getting cash, the bomb just short in time of getting down. Nice work by Liquid, making sure there wasn't really too much to talk about there.
Yeah, very close on that plan, which is kind of hilarious. But we're going to see now 3D Max, their background, defending their lead ultimately, but the best defense is often a good offense, as they say. So we'll see what they have prepped for this. Liquid thus far on the CT side, certainly impressing, but I think working off the back of the pistol. So it is somewhat expected for them to do well. There's a degree of randomness to that pistol as well. So 3D Max, they can certainly pick up where they left off. Just little things. I mean, maybe it comes out a bit faster, but that door smoke is not necessarily the meta door smoke at the moment. Seems to be this one that lands on top of one of the doors, right? That is really quite solid. So it's just tiny little things, I think, that might point out that 3D Max are not quite as comfortable here as they would be on their home map of Inferno, for sure.
He's setting up. He's so lucky to still be alive. He was setting up to bank that nade round and to set up for the smoke as well, but I mean, the lurk smoke comes down, so he's given that quote-unquote luxury. This is not a bad spot for 3D Max in terms of a mid to B split. The only issue is there's 3 players towards B. Liquid seems to have read this really well.
Yeah, strong setup. 3D Max, though. Listen, they can break them apart at the best of times. Nice find onto that main prong of the attack, and now Ultimate smells this rat moving around for a bit more. They're not going to expect NertZ here, surely not, right? As there was heavy mid presence there. No, they will check their angles. The FAMAS comes in, traded quickly, and somehow we're in a 2-on-2. How did we ever get here? It felt like Liquid had the upper hand the whole way through this, but a full retake going to be required. They are pretty far away. They're going to lack the information. The one thing they do have now is that HP to try and get this done.
That 180 by Graviti on the second kill, that actually could single-handedly win them the round. He picks up the util, but doesn't make noise on scooping up the AK. Time is ticking. Shuhei, what a shot. All on the shoulders of Maka. He's won rounds them time and time again, but this won't be one of them. Elige spots him from bricks. He maybe had 2 play time, but it wasn't enough. Liquid, what a round to take as well. What a recovery. Back in towards the B side. One of the statistically hardest sites to retake in the competitive map pool right now. They make it work, and it's a 1-round game.
Yeah, kind of wild. I think we're starting to see this shift in the comfortability. 3D Max move on to the attacking side, and they perhaps struggle to figure out how to build around rather than letting the kills come to them. Time will tell. Time will most certainly tell, but that felt like it should have been somewhat closer. Molotov's decent, though.
Yeah. That smoke did not go where as intended.
Yep.
He's just on top of the roof by long, but not in long. But who cares? We're popping him towards B at pace, and Ultimate and NertZ will find the two to open things up.
3D Max ahead of their smoke as they try and keep that pace up. It does cost them 2 players, but it nets them the bomb plant. Will the sacrifice be too heavy here? Or can they pull off the unlikely round is the big question. Player looks set to go. We got 3 in the tunnels. Kind of wild. One unchecked angle could be the death of them. They're trying to send a lurker out here, potentially. Body finds Naf on the window, kissing in the smoke here. However, it will be the kill that goes the way of Liquid. They've moved through. What is going on? If this molly lands well enough, but I don't think it will. It's not fast enough at all.
Way.
And it didn't even burn him. He was in the one protected corner to get that defuse going. I mean, you see what happens as well. It could have really gone their way, but it took too long, and then it also didn't land. So Liquid even things up.
There's a few things that, if they had gone right, could have made that round stick. But at the very least, you know, Maka makes it expensive and scoops up an AK on top of it. One less thing to invest into, I guess. But this game's tied. Liquid are looking a lot better now, a lot more in this game. Alicia spotted one. Smart call not to fight, and as he re-aggressed in towards lower, with the support of Shuhei, they find the opening double again. Another round in which they do so, and Lucky, good for one, but only, leaves it all on the shoulders of the AWPer. Maka has to pull off now a 1v4 clutch, and there's the first.
Where have 3D Max gone? The T side, not really left all that much for us to be excited about. A close 2-on-2 is the best that we've had. But other than that, Liquid have been driving this ship. Maka, you got the right idea, my friend, but he doesn't have the patience to hold the angle. There is indeed someone on the flank, but not quite the right flank. Not sure if he is conceding here. He's not moved from this spot for quite some time.
Yeah.
So we might be in with a little wait here.
I don't think he can recover the bomb. I don't think there's any real feasible world. He understands this. Hold this position for the next 3 seconds and it's a kill. No, he's and ahhing and doubting himself. And that'll be at the cost of the AWP. Thankfully, there is residual cash. Graviti's got 7k, so they can get an AWP back in play. But this is such a good streak coming through from Liquid after what was, ultimately a really poor first half. They just didn't look confident in themselves at all. They're looking revitalized as 3D Max call for their first pause.
It was 8-2. You know, it could have been a very, very one-sided affair. And Liquid just managed to find this energy right at the tail end, particularly Shuhei, who, if I'm not mistaken, he had that 3-piece and then the round after also found the entry. Yeah. So really high impact from him for a couple of rounds to just bail Liquid out. And they've not stopped winning since. 3D Max, this is one of their issues for me, right? They play with such high energy, such high intensity. They seem to have a really great playbook at the moment, for sure, which is something that they've definitely worked on. But a lot of it is instinctual. A lot of it moves quickly, which sometimes can be good for this calculated aggression or the retakes, right? They don't have to wait around. They don't have to talk about what they're going to do. And this is one of the benefits of same language Counter-Strike as well. But it seems sometimes they just get a bit panicked and that positive energy turns into like a bit of a paranoia, a bit of a nervousness.
Yes, agreed.
A bit of a jittery kind of style. And it does seem to have happened here and not been recovered. And they're fully in the flow. Where's the timeout? Like let's have a moment here, folks.
Yeah. Let's see what 3D Max do. They've just come off the back of their first tactical pause. So what is the coach gonna do to, I guess, bring things back in their play? It's been a while since we've seen 3D Max look good. Nothing in this second half thus far, and it might continue all the same. NertZ, he's got the right idea. Lucky's lurking in that smoke. And a flash over by Alicia and Shuhei into the fray as he finds one before falling. But that's enough. That's all he needed. Exercise. He'll catch Alicia on the smoke break and a molly down to stop the boxer's jump. So they've got the sight. It's a loose term, as they're close enough to make life really difficult. A stick on towards the plant, but Maka, he is so low. It feels like this round bangs on the shoulders of excl, and this fighting towards long. The timing eludes him, but the flash is a warning sign of where they're coming from. 1 for 1. Maka posted with the AWP against Ultimate. Both are low. It's who can hit that shot. Ultimate, right idea, but he can't hit it. A second time of asking, he does. A flick up and a find by Ultimate. What a round. Roland from Poland clutches it out for Liquid as they find double digits.
Absolutely massive. I mean, it felt like Maka had the angle, had the discipline, like you say. Crazy stuff. And I mean, he was low as well.
Yeah.
Maybe could have been a pistol argument, but they don't rightly know that. So close. 2 quick shots from Ultimate. Cannot miss them. Absolutely cannot miss those shots. And he delivers. A man that comes under a lot of scrutiny on this Liquid side.
Got to be said as well, his recovery, he came in towards his half 3 and 8. He's 11 and 9 now, right? That is such a good recovery from Ultimate. He's looked a lot better, but Shuhei loses his head so quickly. So they're getting in towards long, and they're stepping up the tempo a little bit, but there's not many chances left for 3D Max.
The riposte here from 3D Max as they will grab that entry, and now it leaves a lot of question marks, right? Is there 5 people behind that smoke? Is there 1? Is there none? They have to do a lot of guesswork here on the CT end. It does seem like that bomb is going to bail out and move towards B, which slightly weaker defended at the moment, but still shaping up to be a pretty good hit. Flash up middle, just having a little look, not much on the end of it. Naf gets somewhat caught, does well to even get 1, honestly. They have slipped a player through. Maybe it has been seen. Seems to be eyes on lower quite quickly. Yeah, care lower certainly called, and it works out nicely. 3D Max back with a vengeance, and they close that gap themselves. Liquid not quite out of the woods just yet.
Yeah, exactly. I think the second NAF falls, that round is basically done. It's numbers advantage, post-plant on towards the B site. You just call it a day. So finally a round to work with. It was 8-4 at the half, and this is the first time we've seen 3D Max get on the board since that halfway point. And well, in that time, Liquid have got 6 rounds in a row. So they've finally broken the streak from the CT side, but this is not a nice spot to be in, really. I mean, yes, it's all well and good that 3D Max have got a round on the board, but they need to do a lot more to convince me that they're still in this map. It has to be the first of a few.
As we like to say, a deceivingly close scoreline. Depends how you want to break the game down, but
yeah, it doesn't feel close, right? In terms of like the momentum and the swing, and I think for Liquid, they just looked so much better. A lot of protocols going right. I think just in general, a real small thing, well, I say small thing, but a really important thing is they're just winning every opening duel, more or less. That's the first time in a long time that they lose it because Shuhei falls towards long.
It's true, but you see what happens if 3D Max can create it, then suddenly the round really swings in their favor. Ultimate doing well as he remains strong, moving up quickly as well for a positional change. So 3D Max, they try something similar to the previous round. Small change in the fact that they send pretty much the entire team, but maybe an overstep from Body trying to find that entry. Nobody around to cleanly trade him. Cross smoke coming in here. Break of said smoke. 3D Max not dedicating just yet. They've got a player at middle. Are they relying on him to do something? It would seem they just take a moment before moving into the site itself. Feels weirdly calm here considering how important this round is. Ultimate hanging around the smoke. Oh, surely gets caught. It's a tag from him meanwhile. Shuhei also goes down. Now Lucky activates.
No, it's
They're so ready. They're so ready. Surely, oh, Lucky's indeed lucky to get away with that kill. It looks good from here, though. Elige finds his frag. Graviti, the only one left. The bomb hasn't even been planted. I think they maybe think that he's gone for some kind of a bail. They give him so much space to get away with that plant, to be honest with you. So now he has the run of the mill. A lot of options available in terms of how he could play this one out, and he will creep in. He will clear short, and this is the one angle where there's nobody home. So if he keeps going here, could find out that info, could really confuse them, but he's not fast enough, and they catch him in the side. Team Liquid moving up to 11, and a great response.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's sort of one of those positions for Graviti when you're so low in that spot, and you're also trying to go undetected, where do you actually play from? He plants safe, so it means that it really actually limits his options. If he planted for short, he can play short and kind of stick up into there, but he was sort of scaling over towards that position to play short, but the bomb wouldn't have been planted for him, and he really could have taken fights, so there was not many options for the youngster to work with. It's so good to see Liquid just immediately get a response. We kind of saw in towards that first half how much they struggled to find consistency and find responses off the back of 3D Mac's success, but this time, no issues. It's a good retake. Also, real good patience from Elige there. That round all really hinges on the fact that Naf can get out in towards long because Elige is stuck in CT. He doesn't want to overpeak, doesn't want to overfight. So it's well done. They played together really well. Showing a lot of that kind of synergy for Liquid that in the past has made them really, really difficult to deal with. I mean, I feel like they've been lacking it for a while now, but that's a lot better. A bit more of that cohesion that we want to see from this side. 2 rounds ahead of 3D Max, 2 rounds away from taking their map pick. And off the back of a lackluster start, that would be incredibly commendable by Liquid.
Oh, great spot here for Shuhei. They were expecting him, but he's still quicker to the draw. Should be able to get this one as well. He doesn't know how low this player is. That flash nearly shafts him. But he will get away with it. 12 on the horizon. I mean, as simple as that for Liquid.
I don't see how you win this round if you're 3D Max. You are a complete known quantity, and you've lost a large part of the map. NertZ has Maka dead to rights. He can't transfer on towards XSC, but it doesn't matter. The round's done. Body's left of it all to do in a 1 versus 4. And he should have absolutely no look in towards this one. And Elige makes sure of it. Liquid find 12. Map point on their map pick. What a spot to be in. It was 8-2 at one point. And we now find ourselves at 9-12. 3D Max have had 1 round since then at an 8-2 scoreline as we headed in towards round number 11. Unfortunately, it's been a big fall from grace for the French side, but it all has to be credit to Liquid. They look revitalized. They've really found their identity once again. And unfortunately, the buy is not exactly spectacular for 3D Max. Double AK, Galil, and a Mac 10, which has already hit the deck.
Fall from grace might be putting it lightly, to be honest, if Liquid can finish it here and now as well. 3D Max go out with a whimper, but Body has got other ideas. They just about make it across, and Body relentless, as he is known to do in this new look 3D Max. So an advantage given across. And now we'll see what you're really made of, Liquid. Can they hold it together, or is this the beginning of something a little wild? Body getting away with madness, to be completely frank. It is Elige that remains, and you know, the rounds have been close, so the money is important. He will save, and 3D Max not done just yet.
God, Body takes this round by the scruff of his neck. It's so scrappy, and it's actually one of those rounds as well that, you know, we always have to ask the question when teams are trying to recover, and is it replicable? No, absolutely not. He could win any one of those fights immediately, and the round's done. I mean, even just that first swing on towards Shuhei, it's such a good shot, but don't get me wrong, he could also just get absolutely clipped himself, and then there's no way they're scaling up in towards ramp there. So you ask that question, is it replicable? And it is one of those things of you have to ultimately say no, but at this point, 3D Max, throw all the kind of statistic things out the window, right? We've got to play a little bit loose and fast. We've got to find ways to make Liquid uncomfortable. And so far, this default style of play where they're trying to change the tempos a little bit and make Liquid uneasy, it's not been working. So a quicker play like that where they just fly in towards the fights and they just sort of back themselves, I kind of like it. You've got nothing to lose at this point.
Nothing to lose, but everything to gain. Maka goes for a tag, doesn't quite land for him, but you can see immediately Liquid, the energy is just a little tentative, a little safer. Not as many early swings, not as much early utility as they want to save it for later on in the round. Really big moment here. If everyone goes down, there's no money for Liquid.
Oh! I mean, it's fine, but it just misses.
I mentioned it earlier, you know, we didn't really see it all that early. It seems like
he's throwing it too high.
Still working on it. We have seen a couple players miss that one.
Yeah,
though.
It is kind of, it's pixel perfect is one of those.
Oh, slow reaction from Elige, you know. He will go down. Ultimate's there to trade him at the very least, but T-side are going to like that depiction of the 1-for-1.
They call for a freeze. Under a minute to work with, back into the 4 versus 4. It's a double stack towards the B side. That's where they think 3D Max want to end. I mean, with Graviti bomb on his back as well, a mid to B split really isn't out of the cards. A lot of this round feels like it's off the back of kind of Ultimate hit this first shot. That feels like it will come his way inevitably in a moment, but we're creeping towards that 30-second mark, and 3D Max have not done anything yet, so it's a full freeze, and there isn't too much of a reaction from Liquid. Oh, they hear this.
Shuhei has to find these. Thankfully, Maka did get one, so the numbers stay even, but they're going to go wildly aggressive to try and trade Shuhei. I mean, that is crazy. The bomb as well now is isolated and super low. Exorcist remains the only one. He's somehow in behind, and Shuhei closes it out with a 4K. Incredibly impactful rounds. Huge stuff, as Team Liquid will take Dust2 against all of the odds.
Absolute god mode by Shuhei at the end there. Team Liquid getting it done on their pick of Dust2. I think it's interesting the way that map played out. You know, it was looking so good for...
Yeah, and of course, this is what they're playing for, that trophy there, but they need to get through this game to book their spot in towards the final. Liquid, an immaculate recovery. The first half looking pretty lackluster, but for 3D Max, just a little bit too telegraphed in that second, a little bit too simple and too easy for Liquid to break down. So they've given themselves a nice leg up in towards this series. Their map taken, and a bit of breathing room now into a map of Nuke in which 3D Max have pulled a bit of the curveball, but let's see whether that comes to benefit them. Of course, then we can start on that T side, looking on the CT side, an opportunity again for Liquid to really quite immediately put some pressure on towards 3D Max. You take a pistol at the gates here, you can start building in towards this CT side, and 3D Max could regress into that uncomfortable spot once again. So let's see. We're excited for this one as it gets underway.
Just shaping up in the lobby. Looking for a later burst, perhaps, 3D Max. They're just going to go barreling in. Not so sure how I feel about this. They've not really given enough away to make Team Liquid uncomfortable, but the Glocks closed the gap. For a second, I started to believe. However, NertZ comes in and destroys them with those Julies.
10 out of 10 for the backflip there as well, it has to be said, on Exorcist with the way he falls, but also 10 out of 10 in terms of the shutdown by Liquid. They just take the fights. They sort of say to the Max, you call a simple pistol, we will respond in kind. It's a good bit of height there, to be fair.
That's a crazy backflip, actually.
Simone Biles stuck the landing too. You gotta give a bit of credit. Liquid stuck that round to 3D Max. Like you were saying, it just seemed a little bit too simple, right? You know, we go for a very raw hit towards the A site. Not even loads of util around it, and Liquid just fight. And fight they do it well. We go back towards A for 3D Max, but they are met by Shuhei and the FAMAS.
Where are we going? They fake out the door move, just going through HUT, straight through a molly, and not really focusing the bomb plan. And unfortunately, it will cost them. 3D Max with a wild round there, just all over the place, trying to spread out, get into all the crevices, but nobody finds a kill. Nobody creates an open. But I think there was a window to force the bomb plan, get that return on investment, which surely should be like your primary objective there. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it definitely is a very wild call as a whole, and a very wild move. And I have to feel it for 3D Max. Despite this being really early in the map, it feels super desperate, right? It's a forced buy, and you've gone for the same exact hit that also really looks as lackluster. There was so many angles just that goes completely unchecked. Like, how are we not even looking rafters? Like, Shuhei gets the first kill out of heaven, no one looking there. So, crazy call, and a simple one. It's lucky he's going to find the first, though. At least the pistol's looking a little bit better in towards the third round of play. Ultimate, I think here, you need to fall back. You are a little bit isolated in that spot there. Get out of dodge, play the distance.
Elige tapping away, evens up the numbers. Spots another couple. That bullet is awfully close. The vignette close to his head. But Elige, brave of course, sticking around here. And you do expect Liquid to kind of come out on top of this one, right, as it has settled down a bit. But the Deagles always going to be capable 3D Max. Also, by now I would have expected them to perhaps burst somewhere, but they have taken this one quite slowly.
Yeah. 2 staying in towards heaven. You could really, if you want to, just drop a player in towards kind of backside of A. Oh, body. Nice shot on towards Shuhei. I mean, they kept giving opportunities for the Eagle. One of them's got a hit, and it does. But ultimately, this should be an absolute gallery of kills for him, and it is. Money made for the MP9 there, as he finds 3 in quick succession. And so do Liquid. A 3-0 start for them. Looking pretty damn comfortable out the gates. I haven't seen them break too much of a sweat here.
Some decent damage, I suppose, when you're on that minimal investment from 3D Max. Get some kill bonus back. Just keep Liquid on their toes. And you can see it's a weird sort of economic situation. You want to be nitpicky? I think Shuhei should have perhaps had an M4 dropped.
Sure.
But maybe he didn't ask. Some players are a little quiet about that kind of thing. Either way, we've got to pick up in pace here from the CT side in particular, trying to get their noses out of joint here. Elige creeping round. He's lost a teammate for this. It does work out. Trade is there. However, 3D Max feel like a 4v4 could favor them.
It's a really good information play as well. He spots nobody else outside. He knows they've got to be trying to work the indoor position. Hence why Shuhei rotates over here. He's going to fight through the flames. He is. Wrong call, because he'll go down to the molly. One tag keeps him slowed and keeps him in the flames. It's an unfortunate move from Shuhei. I think the second the molly comes down, you've got to fall away there, because they're now just waltzing towards this B site. I don't even know how, from this spot, if you're Liquid, how you retake this. You might even, if you don't get an early kill as the plant's coming down, you might even angle for the save.
Naf creeping up. Maka, meanwhile, big spot here from him. The off angle works for one, not quite the second, but you know, you continue to thin the numbers, do the damage. NertZ is off. Naf's kind of a bit deep here, so I don't know that he could necessarily risk the save, quote unquote. And you never know. The window's open.
Exit kills, right, are still really important. Graviti checks it. Fair play.
They must have heard him earlier on in the round.
Yeah.
Somewhere nearby.
He takes that molly that was on stairs, right? He ran in front. There was 2 down. He ran in front of 1 to kind of play in the gap of the 2. So yeah, you're probably right. You probably heard that tick and just were sort of aware of the possibility of that. But that's a nice round from 3D Max. Much better. I feel like it, unfortunately, it's just one little mistake by Shuhei, just sticking around a little too long over towards Ram. Molly comes down. I feel like you just give up that position, play full retake, play numbers, sort of level retake. But heat of the moment type stuff. Burns in the fire. So 3D Max, get on the board on the T side. And now we need to see something that really eluded them on the T side of Dust2, which is not only getting on the board, but it's the consistency. They just could not get consecutive rounds at all. They couldn't change any momentum. 3D Max have got to do that pretty early in towards this game for them to really start building up that confidence again. They got completely shot in that second half of Dust2.
Oh, dangerous here, NertZ. You can't really hear this coming as well. 3D Max have found both of their entries, and it's going to be an immediate capitulation. Retreat from Team Liquid. 3D Max opening up really nicely here on the T side once they've stabilized that economy, got some guns out themselves. So Liquid, listen, we saw 2 very early timeouts from them on Dust2, and eventually it started working for them. So I think we're probably going to see some early timeouts here once again. Question of whether they actually get away with the save, because the hunt is on.
Yeah, if Ultimate actually stayed where he was for another second, he probably actually catches Maka, who's moving in towards heaven. But yeah, you're right. Looks like they might send a couple of feelers towards spawn. But for the most part, another simple round for 3D Max. Don't even take a point of damage from Liquid. It's 2 expert flashes and a little bit of a gamble to go through the smoke out of single door, but it works. This is the sort of position now where if you're Liquid, I actually wouldn't even mind attack pause. We're now understanding what the pace is looking like for 3D Max on these T sides, what the default kind of principles they're trying to set up are looking like as well. And I'm going to opt for it. They're going to buy straight back in. Let's see. Big thing is Ultimate keeping that AWP in play. It's the one thing that 3D Max haven't gone for yet, that T-side AWP. So he has the advantage at range.
or NertZ, going wild here, will be punished. There's nobody around to trade. Maybe a bit quicker on the lobby crunch than his teammates were expecting. Elige only one outside. Obviously not going to be enough. Shuhei goes down. Wow, 3D Max just found the energy once again, found the successful approach. Lucky is holding for this. Doesn't get the kill, but he sees him.
Yeah.
They absolutely know about him. He catches another. It's just all over. It's all over. It's just far too easy. That's like a 30-second round. 3D Max only lose one player. Man, okay, if this is the kind of nuke we're going to get, we might just be going to 3.
Yeah, we spoke about this a little bit in the first half of Dust, when we were kind of saying it wasn't really at that point about protocols. It actually just came down to the raw aim, and that's what 3D Max had really kind of working for them. The individuals were just stepping up, and that's another sort of prime example. That's 2 back-to-back rounds where the call itself is ultimately really simple. It's a split A decision, but it's just so easy for 3D Max, right? You know, they come in through main, they win their fights, and Lucky does really well on the information play, spotting that Nafa got in towards Hot. Ultimate was tunnel visioned in over towards Squeaky. It's a simple, simple round. 2 of them in a row for 3D Max, and that itself is a little bit more damning. Liquid go for a lobby crunch, but it's actually a really disjointed lobby crunch. We spoke about it. NertZ goes in so much earlier than the ramp guys. It's all well and good. If NertZ had gone in and died there, but the ramp guys are pushed at the same time, it actually probably works out quite well for them. They take that control, but he was so ahead of the curve.
He was. He was. So it does speak to a bit of discomfort, which is kind of my word of the series, really, as we get into these big arena matchups. Ultimate with a nice find. We got Shuhei hidden away. Can't quite make it work. excl looking good. Another player, it has to be said, that's been sort of freed up for the 3D Max side in this new strategical approach. Structure, I think, is the word that I was looking for there. So, yeah, looking good in this round at least.
Yeah, I really think he's been so revitalized as a player. He's the main one for me. Graviti gonna get caught by the 5-7. I mean, we're at the point now where it is consolation kills. Body, nice reaction, nice find. Yeah, just consolation kills, really. NertZ the last man. They are going in his direction, but still, this should be next to impossible to convert, and that'll be the case. Lucky sees off the last, but it's 3 in the round for excl as he cracked open the ramp position, and 3D Max claw back the lead. We always talk about it. 5 rounds T-side nuke, you'd be pretty happy with. And I feel like for 3D Max in the spot that they're in, especially with a little bit of a lackluster start, that would really go a long way for them. You get up to 5. If you can push for 6 as well, a lot of pressure being put on the shoulders of Liquid. Especially considering how that first map went. Liquid's T-side was pretty dire, right? They really didn't do a lot.
Elige, gets a great flash. But he can't do anything with it. Just hesitated, just paused for a moment. And it cost him the opportunity at least 1 kill, if not 2. So he will be kicking himself, but he's gained a lot of information. He gets some damage for his trouble. Maybe, just maybe, they're able to do something with it. What a smoke here, what a move.
My God,
on
Body.
The timing from Body, yeah. It was just as one dissipated, the other came up. He's actually going to push round in towards lockers. I thought maybe he'd go main, but not going to be the case. He's heard some footsteps.
Oh no!
Yikes. The panic gets the better of him. And rightfully so, he goes down. To be honest, you should be punished for that. So maybe a window now for Liquid.
We've all been there.
3D, we absolutely have. 3D Max down below. Got a missed shot from Maka. It's not really letting up at this point. He has to find this close kill to give them the advantage, and a clean way in. Somehow he manages to get behind NertZ, who doesn't consider it at all. So I think with that, Liquid will move to save, and man alive, this is such an awkward round.
Yeah, that was very, very nearly very weird. Let's put it that way. Thankfully not to be. Lucky looking for a couple of last players just in case they're going for a late exit play, but yeah, not to be. Shelling up for the save over towards CT as 3D Max make it a 5th. And like we were saying, now we're pretty happy with this T-side fundamentally. 5 rounds on the T-side is a very workable score. But the way 3D Max are playing, it'd be hard to argue that they should stop there, right? They are looking a lot better now, and Liquid, there's quite a few gaps that are being exposed at the moment. Small thing, I mean, even that opening play, you got to feel for Elige there. He just takes half a step where he's like, oh, I'm not going to commit to the fight, maybe off the flash, just in case there's an anti-player. That cost him a kill, cost him his life, and then all of outside control. And even though Body made a small mistake, it just goes unpunished because of the space they'd already taken.
Yes, that is kind of the key point of the round, really. I think perhaps because they lose their primary outside player, but it feels very strange. He got quite far.
Yes, yeah, he did.
He went down without a kill. But you feel like they'd be like, okay, there's a lot of presence outside. Maybe we should set someone downstairs just to be ready for the eventuality. And yeah, there's a few issues with the Liquid setup. And they are being punished by 3D Max, who again, a map for them where they just keep it very simple, try and work a pick, and then go into these really crisp late round executes that they are so fond of. Okay, ultimate, advanced position. He finds an easy kill. So Liquid, for the first time in a while, have got themselves a comfortable opener.
He'd been waiting for that for a while as well. He was in hot early in the round, but he never actually made the push, which at the time was definitely the smart call. That re-aggression, perfectly timed. 45 seconds to work with here. Ultimate, right idea. Oh, I'm spotted, and that's enough for a kill as Lucky will hit the deck. They're starting to crumple here to the big green as Ultimate is making that orb sing so damn loud. He looks for more, and all 5 was on the card, but it's shut down by Maka, but it still shouldn't make too much of a difference. Ultimate has taken this round by the reins and shut down any narrative about 3D Max making it a 6. There is no chance for Maka in this one. 15 seconds, he's tagged as well in a known quantity. And they crunch on his position. Well done by Ultimate. What a round by him.
Absolutely what they needed, right? Just when you are on the cusp of the dominant half, you need that individual to step up. As I mentioned on Dust2, a player who is under a lot of pressure within this team, a lot of scrutiny for quite a while, propped up out of nowhere, it felt like. I know that you in particular have been somewhat critical of scouting over the past couple of years, right?
Yeah.
Some of these players, but here in this series, he is stepping up to the plate when he's asked.
Speaking of, he's doing it again. This time he gets punished. They wait for it. XC Seal quickly and swiftly follow Ultimate in towards the grave on the trade, but still, they're now working their way in towards the A site. It all comes down to whether Shuhei can get a quick kill to allow NertZ up a vent.
Oh, well, they grab a pause and it does confuse Liquid. Pretty massively, actually. Body has thread the needle here. There was a Molotov tick. Oh, that makes all the difference. Shuhei was still around, and I think he now smells a rat over here. What is going on? What a weird game state this is. Graviti makes his way in. Oh, Shuhei has a decision to make. Doesn't quite want to send it just yet. They'll take their eyes off him, and he gets the low HP player. He might have hit a step below him as well. So all of a sudden, back into the round. Low HP bars for 3D Max really make this difficult. In comes the flash. Out goes Shuhei. Body is blind, and he is finished off. The trade is instantaneous. An AWP shot misses, however, and they will continue to close the gap. But Lucky keeps his cool, finds the important headshot, and 3D Max, in one of the strangest rounds we've seen on Nuke thus far, will answer back.
Yeah, honestly, I actually think Shuhei does quite well there. To be getting a third kill in that kind of heaven rotate back in is not bad. It's just unfortunate that he should have isolated in that sense. It's a great flag to send them in, but it's just about not enough. They were just too deeply ingrained in towards that top site. So a response from 3D Max, and one which is most definitely needed by them. Put themselves in a really good spot. 6 rounds, T-side, exactly where you want to be. You know, you've built up more than enough in terms of foundations for the 3D Max side, and I think Liquid, they rightfully realize that they are in a bit of trouble. You buy back in towards this round, sure, off the back of this tack pause, but it is one of the situations where a lot of residual cash is used for this. If this falls flat, especially if they can't get anything in terms of kills, it's going to put you in a bad spot. That's crowd out here as well for the CS Asia Championship. Exactly what we want to see as we head in towards the semi-finals. All playing for that trophy tomorrow. You lose here, though, it's not the end of the road. Third place decide a match tomorrow, of course. So you're not done and dusted, but you'd like to be flying home with a bit of silverware.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think third place deciders are a necessity in the current circuit. But it doesn't quite have the same feel to it. It doesn't quite have the same ring as a grand final opportunity. Naf traded instantly. Big damage done, however. The orb looking good. The flames sometimes can be difficult to deal with while scoped in, but he looks solid. Elige finding his. And 3D Max with one of their famous what the hell happened rounds as they all fall apart. Shots are missed all over the shop. My goodness, Team Liquid winning a lot of 1v1s in that. So 3D Max try and pick up the pace. It really does not work at all.
Yeah, exactly. I love the move there by Liquid. They really changed up the positions. We've seen that Elige has been taking actually a really kind of forward stance on how he wants to play outside control. Right? A lot of it's actually been about putting a lot of early pressure towards red. This time he sits in secret the entire time. He does really well just to change things up. Hence why Body is really questioning himself of where is he? Every time I've been taken outside control, I've always been tagged or naded or mollied. None of that's here. Where is this guy? And he just overlooks the last possible angle that Elige can play from. So it's a nice little variation, nice little change up. And yeah, 3D Max caught napping the same way in which Naf pushes ramp. They haven't done it for a while. The last time they did, they got massacred for it. This time, Naf finds the one perfect timing, and Body, by name and nature, hits the deck. So, down to 2, 3D Max of going out in this half of a bit of a whimper.
Hey. Rinse and repeat. It's what happened on Dust2. So keep your eyes on this. Maybe this momentum shift going into the half. Swap is exactly what they need. Wow. It's been a while since I've seen a spam kill through HUT, you know. Solid find.
Poor Exorcise.
Graviti, though. Little crisp. He's got all 5. But he does have everything. All right, never mind. He's dead. Never mind. He's dead. 6 to 6.
We'll slow that one down right there.
You know, sometimes you like to build them up. We were talking about this earlier, weren't we? It's like, you know, you don't want to talk about it being over. What if he hits a clip, man?
Yeah.
But not today.
No, not at all. So, 3D Max, how do you respond from a spot like this? Because without a doubt, these guys, for the most part, vets, you know, have been around in the scene for a long, long time, being in situations like this, but they're going to see how akin the ending of the first half in map 1 and map 2 are, right? We've gone out of a whimper and we've actually given them the opportunity to look pretty good here. And we're now also seeing that Liquid's pistols are actually pretty solid. At 3D Max, they've always had this luxury throughout this tournament, and actually just recently in terms of since they made this sort of change in the calling system, that pistols have looked really good for them, but they haven't today. Liquid are looking very good, looking sharp. They're not really at times falling super, super flat. And we know how it happened in towards the first map. So there's definitely got to be a little bit of a kind of a worry in the back of their mind at the very least. If we don't get this CT side started immediately, Liquid could start to snowball as they did in towards map 1. The only difference being is that the poor side that we saw from Liquid was the T side.
We're about to find out. Keeping it simple here as they break the door, moving straight in. Flash and a smoke, but the spam away here from Lucky finds one. Ecstasy's also chiming in. They've not managed to get those players down. They've not managed to get the bomb down either. So it has completely fallen flat. Body, meanwhile, takes this opportunity to push up the ramp. Shuhei has to delete him. The Julie's still alive, not quite finding those headshots. Naf also can't get it. So Body is keeping control. Elige on his own solo adventure here. Point and click, hopefully, if he plays his...
He
plays his cards right. Yeah, he did. He did. That's why I took a moment.
See him look to the sky.
That's why I took
like,
a moment
God
to just be
damn
like, for goodness sake. Yeah, like, you've made your own bet on that one, mate. But we all knew what was going to happen after that.
I love to see just that reaction from Elige again. It's just like, oh my God. It's like such a small mistake, but it's so costly. It's
We've had
so
a couple
costly.
moments in this series that are like that, where it's like, they're just like me for real, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's just the look to the heavens of like, why did that have to happen? Because he's in a really good spot if he doesn't make noise there. Happens to the best of us. Proof that they are human. But 3D Max needed that CT pistol. Puts them now in a good little position. Mac for the first. He's up close as well, but he's got a reload. Thankfully, he's got coverage. Nice shot from Graviti. Hello. Only the low buy there, but you got to credit the quick aim. And a 2-round buffer built up to start off the half. This is the breathing room that 3D Max needed.
Indeed it is. Liquid then going to have to turn things around very, very quickly. And I don't know, man, it's not the best of starts to the half, right? I think they were also hoping to repeat the Dust2 serendipity. But not happened thus far. Maybe with the guns in hand, they can make it work. 3D Max, though, in prime position to hit the double digits and start hammering this one home, take us to a third. Maui reckoned it would be close. Dust. Huh.
One of your mollies.
All right. Let's stop saying that. All right. I know where the map ends, to be fair, on Nuke. There was also a nade that kind of followed it up as well. Just a complete sideways lineup for sure.
Cooking the fishies in Cedar Creek. It's a bit of a weird spot now as well for 3D Max, because with that missed util, they don't really want to fight anymore there. They sort of have to quite reluctantly give it up. It's a bit of a weird spot. It's sort of like, for 3D Max, you're forced now to shell up, and it could work in favor of Lucky. The spam is close.
Oh, NertZ wants it. It's actually Shuhei that finds it. Important kill. NertZ is going to go unspotted, yeah, and he gets another. It's worked out very, very nicely there. Shuhei moves on high. XC's in for the double. They were not expecting him at all, right? They've taken out 2 players in hell. It's like, surely there's nobody else around. Definitely can't be a guy up the ladder already. But XC's sells his teammates down the river, potentially, and it pays off. Oh, man. The catches onto Team Liquid here are just disastrous. It's going to be ultimate in the clutch. He's not expecting. Lucky in the hook. And Liquid, 5-on-3, slips through their fingers.
I think that round, you have to give all the credit to XC's. Those 2 kills in quick succession to Heaven win them the round, because it just gives them the advantage and the numbers. So well done from him. That 180 in particular, I mean, that's a monster kill from him. The reaction here is lovely, but it's just this reaction there, catching NertZ. NertZ have to punish that on the trade, and the fact that he can't seals the deal. Oscar's naff to follow it up. Really well done. Krebian.
He's got a very cheeky smile. I love when XC's gets a moment. He's got a very, like, can't believe I did that kind of smile.
Exactly. Good outside presence really quickly here. And Tech9, they're just holding W, and they're going to get a lot of space.
It's true. The door, awkwardly, only one side of it blown up, but
I like
they make
this.
it work. It looks decent. Oh, can't stop the cross. Maka doesn't drop the bomb either. Flash is going to go in. He's trying desperately here to make something happen. Where's the cover? He just gets the plant in, luckily, but all the same, a kill that potentially shouldn't have happened. They do have the kit 1 available in the hands of Lucky, but he's not really near the bomb. So Maka going to tap and try and draw them out. Not quite going to work here. Molotov comes in. Naf, got to get a step on. He's in behind. Unfortunately, the kit on the bomb, and there's nobody around to stop it. Oh, Liquid, it just keeps getting worse and worse here. Some of these mistakes are really egregious.
Yeah.
3D Max hit double digits.
I think we're vastly approaching the point of no return, unfortunately, for Liquid. We're just not seeing anything on the T side. I will say, got to give them a little bit of kind of leeway. It's a Tech 9 round, but it is the fact that you're actually in a decent spot, and there's a couple of, like you said, key errors, right? I think first and foremost, the fact that Mac is able to take that fight on towards the bomb planter for free, that should never happen. There should be another player somewhere near enough to at least stop that initial swing out, to get yourself into some sort of a post plan. And then it's the fact that the timing, the rotate idea is really nice, of this like late flank coming through. Let's try and, you know, retrace the steps that they did on the retake. But it's just the fact in which it was just too disjointed, too spaced out. So, yeah, it's key errors. I think you're absolutely spot on. And now we're at a point, like we said, right, no return is really on the cards. This buy round is make or break for Liquid. You lose this, and 3D Max are going to get map point.
Well, here we go. We'll see if Liquid have got anything left in the tank. The timeout comes in. A lot of utility here from both sides as you look at your mini-map. It's an absolute mess. There's probably more smoke. There is free space. Maka, however, does not care. He finds the free space. He hits the shots. And he takes the dream of winning in 2 away from Liquid, surely. Break onto the smoke. I don't know that they necessarily looked in there, but Maka, dynamic here, has moved in. Trigger discipline. He's a little slow to react, but it works out well. They'll keep him coming. Body nearly finds it flawlessly. Not quite. The IGL of Liquid here to try and pull off the impossible. Doesn't look too bad from him thus far, but there's just so many to get through. Not going to happen. 3D Max. Hit number 11. This is just getting worse and worse, like I say. Team Liquid, unfortunately, just nothing on the T side. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, there's some level of kind of residual cash for Liquid for the reinvestment, but they just look so checked out now. It's so loose in terms of the protocols by the C side, and there's just nothing in offer. They're still yet to get around here, but it's even getting to the point of bomb plants, especially these gun rounds. I don't really care about a bomb plant in a Tech 9 round, right? It's kind of a gimmicky round as a whole, but it's the fact that they can barely get to bomb plants in gun rounds. They can barely get control of a site. That's the thing that's killing this Liquid side, and, well, Shuhei. First 2 fall, not what you want to see.
Ultimate, though, has managed to get in. Maka with another great position here, so a really solid few rounds on this AWP from him. He feels like he's everywhere, you know? There's nowhere that is safe. 3 remain for Liquid. Last chance Saloon. Body is down below, ready for this B hit. Gonna take the peek, well timed. It's just so easy. It's just so easy, man. Running rings around them at the moment. And now we have Inferno on the cards next, unless there's
Spoke about it.
Heroic comeback. I don't think it's going to happen for Liquid here on Nuke. Really scary prospect.
All on the shoulders of Naf and NertZ. I'm not going to discount them just yet, but Naf's on a very, very slow map. 5 and 9. If ever there was a time for him to find that extra edge that we've been missing, it would be now, but it's not going to be. Body in down below, making life difficult. Time is ticking. He holds down mouse 1, and that'll be at the cost of his life. So NertZ thrust into a 1 versus 2, but Maka's so nearby. That supporting element as NertZ will fall 12-6. And at one point, there was a nice little bit of back and forth, call and response in this map. But as this second half has progressed, there's only been one team in it, 12-6.
Are Liquid capable of anything else here? Just a bit of confidence moving into map number 3, I suppose. As I mentioned in the previous, it's a scary prospect to look at what is next up on the docket. And now the sort of risk that you've taken, the money where your mouth is moment, is going to come into play, and maybe a little prematurely, he says. They've made some kills happen here. Maka. Oh, the vent, he's so blind. But maybe the no-scope is enough. Maybe the no-scope is enough. How is Body not traded out here? Naf will get it. Body does not read him, does not see him. Oh, and Liquid will survive it. It is the classic, once 3D Max hit 12, they let a round slip, but it was very, very close.
God, Naf, that was so close. The fact that it's actually gone into the 1 versus 1, it's just the gun barrel that blocks. 12-7. Finally get around on T side. That's the positive news. But a long old road to recovery. So let's see. Galil in play for Shuhei and NertZ. 2 premium rifles, 2 Galils. The Orbov ultimate. But you find this round, if you're Liquid, you break the econ of 3D Max, so you can at least sort of see a bit of a pathway. I mean, it's sure, very, very long road to recovery, but baby steps.
Hey, we like to give them the benefit of the doubt and build up the hype. We'll see if they can deliver for us. Body round this corner. Actually, give it up. So they are happy to just fully concede the ramp area, which I think Liquid will be a bit confused by. And they now have a decision themselves in terms of what they want to do. Player posted down below. Graviti, meanwhile, pushing outside, and he might just get the catch. The timing is not bad here. They give it a halfway check, but he's on the way. There's no one posted up watching this. Oh, he does eventually get both. He's dropped that bomb as well. Nearly taken down by the AWP there, you feel, but enough has surely been done. Lucky finding another, and this begins the end. Elige alone by himself does get the double spray down here, but Graviti makes quick work of him. 3D Max with the 13-7 are going to take us to a third. So well played, and Liquid never get going on that T side.
GG to 3D Max. They win their map pick of Nuke off that wonderful Graviti flank from outside. Let's react to that straight away. How was he able to thread the needle there, Dust? What was the read?
Yeah, I just think that Liquid was struggling to...
A lot of other teams are like, oh, it's just the same thing. You know, it's just a rinse and repeat every time. They have those little tweaks in the execute that can really make a difference. Maybe the ghost of existence, so to speak, in that sense.
Yeah, exactly. I think one thing that, for me, I absolutely adore with 3D Max is just how they approach the T side on this map. I think at times, a lot of teams play a very stale T side on Inferno. I love the way that 3D Max approach it. And they're going to be going in towards that T side on the second half as well, which might be a bit of a benefit to them. Let's see. We're going to kickstart our map number 3 to see who will be going towards the grand finals here. This semifinals already delivered 2 bountiful maps, and we're seeing whether this one can follow suit as well. It's Team Liquid who start on that T side, 3D Max on the CT side. And we're waiting to see maybe whether we get a little bit more out of Liquid.
Indeed. Oh, man, okay. Listen, this is how it starts. The double nade. They got 4 on B. 3D Max back with a vengeance here into map number 3, and really looking good. A great start. Glock picked up by Body here. You know, they're just...
I love it. Close range.
Moving into those instincts again, and I think it's something that they were perhaps missing on that first map. So we'll see here. Team Liquid. Gotta be careful. Can't lose another name. Body up close on the Glock mode. Not going to be expected. It's the perfect weapon for it. He will eventually go down. Lucky has to drop back. But again, there's another player ready and waiting for this attack. And rotations are going to take a while. They're slow to move, it feels like. But all the same, 3D Max, it looks good.
Don't need to peek from Nubox. Maka, this angle's so strong because of the crossfire. Oh, what a shot by Maka. Clips him out of the sky. It's duck hunting, and he is finding all the shots. Maka does so well there. They were starting to really crunch on that position in towards Nubox, and under the pressure, he does not falter. 3D Max start well, but you already brought it up, mate. I mean, just a double nade and banana, the quad stack. I mean, this is what 3D Max do. It's why we worried about this being where the veto heads. They've got a lot of little gimmicks, little protocols that work really well for them. And Liquid, it just feels like this is going to be an uphill battle all the way throughout. They need to find 110% here if they want a chance of taking this map for me.
Again, the utility is very difficult to deal with. Just about making away alive, not unscathed though. Oh man, and a stray bullet there landing through to take Shuhei down low. So, you know, you don't expect too much out of this round, but it looks like it will be easy pickings for 3D Max. Maybe some money to be made for this MP9 up close as well. Ideal for your AWPer. They're on the way. They're on the way. They're going to go straight into him. It's a question of whether he goes down early, whether he gets to grind some meat, make some money. Oh, he's actually having the kills stolen away, so maybe not a chance to make some money, but they will survive things cleanly here. Just NertZ remains.
Yeah, not expecting a lot. Let's be completely frank. If he can get a consolation kill, that'd be nice. Loose terms there. I mean, at this point, there is no world in which anything is found that really makes up for this round. You're really hoping that you could maybe get a bomb plant on a round like this. You just stick as a pack, but it's a mowdown in towards mid. excl. Really nice round for him. 3 kills to his name. Simple stuff. 3D Max find a second, but it wasn't a buy. So this is where we really take stock in a round. We don't really care too much about that round number 2. It's this round here. This is the true indicator of what Liquid have got up their sleeve and whether we should be as concerned as we've maybe built up a bit on the desk and, of course, ourselves here on the cast of letting this Inferno come through. First gun round coming in. Premium rifles across the board, bar Shuhei in towards the Galil, but he opts for a little bit more util.
Yeah, if we are to assume things that make sense, right? The Occam's razor kind of argument of this, Liquid should have done a good degree of preparation for this map coming into this matchup. It absolutely has to come through in the series somewhere, right? Given where the permas fall and given how good 3D Max have been at this tournament. Let's even just look at it through that kind of microscope. So you would assume that Liquid have got set strat look. Graviti loses his head with an overstep, and certainly some lackadaisical moves there from 3D Max on the B-bomb site. I think that might just be a save, even though it is a bonus. But yeah, you got a guy just sort of jumping, coughing while there's no smoke down. The other guy's out in the open. Overconfident, maybe even a little arrogant from 3D Max.
It really is a beautiful double entry, especially that kind of opening kill. Shuhei's is very important to guarantee the side, but it's NertZ, right? That first kill is everything. He had to hit a really hard shot to give them a bit of space to kind of scale up forward in towards the site, and he does. And NertZ on the lurk, going to find one of his own as well. excl going to try and make it a bit expensive, which at the very least he is. And like you were saying, it's a bonus round, so it's not the end of the world losing this, but I think the main thing for Liquid, don't drop any more bodies now. Make sure that 3 stay alive. It's great that you found a round, but you've still got a lot you need to do to build up on this T side. But like we said, right, that's the round that we actually take stock in, and it's a good round. Nice execute. Thought the util usage towards top car was really good. It actually forces both of them back off the site and both of them to kind of retract and shell up. That's the kill that really makes or breaks that round, though, from NertZ. He gets an opener, but he clears a really difficult angle to clear as they were peeking in dry.
Looking good on the replays as well. So we shall see here. Liquid. Really well done. I think the start of the maps have been very, very streaky from both teams. So the fact that they're able to make themselves known early. excl, speaking of beautiful aggression, man advantage, and exactly what 3D Max do, right? They will get in your face after a loss round. The shot somehow misses from Maka. And they live to fight another day.
I brought it up last time we saw the Inferno, but I love the way Maka approaches the CT side. He's so confident, he's so fluid, he adapts on the fly, he rotates between positions. He's such a fun AWPer to watch on this map. I think at times his T-side can struggle a little bit, but talking with Maui a bit about it yesterday, and he was telling, you know, statistically it's got better since Graviti's taken over the system. So signs are looking like they've got a bit of an uptick for him. But yeah, I love his CT side. He's so fun to watch. When he really gets going as well, he goes in a bit of a heater, he backs himself so much. I mean, we even saw it then, right? He's so confident to stay on the corner, take the fight. Gets very unfortunate that it doesn't work, but we'll see. They're now going back to B. An opener as well as NertZ again sent into the fray. Nice adaptation there from Graviti, just making life a little difficult on the cross. Numbers favor 3D Max on the retake, and they are quick on the flank.
Bomb plant being punched in, but they are crunched very quickly here, as you mentioned. Ooh, slim window to get through there. Ultimate's in a weird spot here. He manages to find one. He's not ready for the second. And they make quick work of it. Liquid caught out in the open. Does seem like there's a real lack of discipline in this game thus far. It's been a pretty chaotic series creeping into Inferno.
Yeah, that's a really good retake, by the way. You know, a 4 versus 3 in the retake, you only take 1 casualty coming through. It's a bit of a clinic from 3D Max. They're able to really dissect what Liquid are doing in the post plant. Good signs, really good signs. And even off the back of that post plant as well, money's still a little frail for Liquid, so they might not really even buy in towards this next round. That's where making the previous a bit expensive. That's good.
No.
He did get off that defuse a couple of times, but Graviti's happy. That's what we want to see. Open play for Ultimate on the T side, a double AK, and then a double Tech 9. So it's a disjointed investment, but a full buy nonetheless for Liquid. I was sort of assuming they go half buy here, full buy next with the AWP, but they're going to go full buy here, which is so risky. And NertZ gets a taste of his own medicine. He's had 2 entries back-to-back towards B. This time, he's the first to fall.
Quickly moving up A, though. I mean, it's a decent position. Unfortunately, just running into the AWP is the last thing that you wanted. Exorcist with a crisp find above the cart, although it's more of a van these days. 2 on 5, probably just going to save the strong weaponry here.
Yeah, I think so.
But to your point at the buy, I think it is just a case of evening up the econ across the board.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, you're
Makes
super
it
valid.
easier, especially like earlier on in a game, you just don't want that in your head.
I just always assume in a spot like that, right, you go here or AK, a little bit of a half fire around it, leave enough cash for the AWP in towards the following round. But yeah, I think you're right. It's just about resetting it. The only issue is, look how expensive this round is now becoming. It's a great shot from Elige, but an immediate trade, and the AWP will get recovered too. So a tough spot now, if you're being completely honest, for Liquid. Full buy, fallen flat. 3D Max have extended the lead now to 3 rounds. There's a nice little bit of breathing room, and you've now got no money to work with. Liverpool fan, that's my go. That's my boy. We're winning the league again this season. As 3D Max are they're going to win this match. They're looking great.
There you go.
You never walk alone.
Nice segue. Back into the game here, of course. I could maybe name like 5 teams in the Premier League. So, you know, I'm not really your guy. That's a little low, maybe like 8. Anyway.
I live or die Liverpool.
Of course. But yeah, a difficult one for sure. At 3D Max, again, starting to streak ahead. I thought Liquid would maybe keep things competitive. And it's not just the fact that there is this 3-round lead. You know, a chunk of that comes off the back of the pistol. There are some dodgy economic decisions that are made, potentially. We understand the logic, but when it doesn't work out, it doesn't look great. And the rounds as well, relatively decisive from 3D Max for the most part, apart from the 1 lost round. So we have another early timeout from Liquid. It's kind of interesting, the approach from both of these teams. 3D Max in the flow. They like to work on their instincts. Liquid much more structured, perhaps. But this is what you get. Graviti through the smoke. Wins the round single-handedly, a bit of assistance from the boys, but there is no real worry here for the Frenchman.
Yeah, Graviti makes it look effortless as well. Holding down mouse on a turret just inside of that smoke. Really, really well done.
Hey, I like it.
Thrown. And, you know, we're in a spot now where we've got to start asking some serious questions for Liquid. Again, it's a no-buy round, so we don't want to take too much stock in it, but we're getting to the point now where small things like trades are ineffective, spacing's a little bit ineffective, bomb plants are kind of elusive at the moment, right? And this is where you get to a point of this rinse and repeat cycle. Sure, we've got loss bonus built up, but you want the bomb plants to at least give you a following buy each and every round, and we're not even there yet. So 3D Max, they are looking really good at the moment on this CT side. It doesn't look like it's that big of a lead, but it feels like it in terms of momentum. But NertZ, nice opener.
Big find. They have to be able to do something with it, however, and very, very loose rotations here. By loose, I mean quick. The flashes are good. Oh, noise being made. Shuhei was already in. Graviti has to reveal himself for that trade as well. And they get ahead of themselves. It worked nicely for Graviti in the previous round. Everybody wants a piece of the CT smoke push. Doesn't work here. Liquid a bit more prepared for it after being punished so heavily in the previous round, actually.
Yeah, it's a very risky call, I think, ultimately, because they're swinging dry through smokes, but it works, right? It's not a round, again, I always propose the question in spots like this, is it replicable? No, I don't think so, but it's good, right? You need a tempo shift. You need to kind of deny a bit of this conditioning that I think was set up, right? Sure. I think with 3D Max, it got to a point where they had figured out that we can play quite aggressive towards Banana in the early round because they go for a later round execute, and that's when we'll fall back. We'll also stock up our util, and you can even see in a couple of instances there, 3D Max are a bit surprised by the pace. So it's nice that Liquid have thrown that in. It keeps the 3D Max side on their toes, and it's a round in which they can build upon. But they still got to find more holistic approaches to winning these rounds. It's just not a round that you can do time and time again. But it's good to get something on the board. It still feels, though, momentum-wise, it's pretty one-sided on that CT. But if we can start chaining a few together, get a little bit of a snowball going, any sort of foundation towards this T side, then we're okay.
Elish. Barreling in. Oh, the nade is massive over here. Body trying to do something with it. He's just spraying wildly. Gets one, he's traded. They're not able to help him out very much. So I think they'll kind of take that Liquid, gain the Banana control. But look how low they are, right? This could certainly come into play later on in the round. It seems to be a slow encroachment towards the B-bomb site. Just getting more and more playing room here. Maka. Trained in. Whoa, not quick enough. He survives. Meanwhile, utility coming round. A swing from Graviti. Dry again. It's got to be frustrating for Team Liquid to be on the back of, as these swings are just nonsensical at times, but they managed to get away with them.
It's kind of weird. You can see Graviti sort of and ahhing about how to play that, because the molly comes down, but he stays open. I like it. It's a nice shot from Ultimate, and look at the scale now in towards A. Because they left the player lurking over here, Lee's got a lot of space, information, and room to work with. If he gets a shot, this round swings so heavily in favor of Team Liquid now. I think 3D Max have got to save, and it looks like they are.
Really well done, whether it's communicated or just keeping your, your head up, your gun up.
Yeah.
It's that player down middle that I think could have really caught them off guard.
Exactly.
Elige maybe heard him running, perhaps, if he started running early. Difficult to say without the full breadth of the round, but it's Elige that really makes that. It's only one kill for him, but it's so much info, so much cut-off.
Yeah. That ultimate kill is so important as well. He catches that, like, early rotate player, which is maybe what gives them a bit of that confidence of, actually, we should go back towards A now. If you're sending a player deep down Banana, there's got to be another player somewhere backed over there. And at that point, you start to figure out where the stack is lent. And then it was lent towards B. The small information players do well. Liquid find a third, but it's a back-to-back round, which is the thing that makes it most important. This deficit slowly but surely being chipped away at. And a bit of a make-or-break situation in the, I guess, the early part of this half for 3D Max, where we finally got them to a point where econs run dry, right? They've got to buy out here. You lose a round again, and Liquid can start seriously pulling away on towards his T side, start seriously chaining rounds together. And at that point, you start to feel a little bit of a problem arising. So I do wonder how 3D Max want to play there. They've been trying to go quite aggro in towards Banana, and it's very 50-50 whether Body's winning this first fight. I wouldn't mind them playing a little bit more standoffish, and this time they actually do.
NertZ. Up on the boost hit. They're thinking about it. That's one flash. Is there another to come off the back of it? Maybe. Maybe. Molotov. Oh, but the swing from Shuhei is ahead of it. The preemptive strike, perhaps. Looking for a little bit more as well. Maka, meanwhile, catching Naf on the lurk this time around. Oh, man. Wacky moment here. Lucky moves through. The flash is good to create some space for him. Damage is big on these remaining Liquid players as well, so does not feel likely here, Nao.
Really don't know what Shuhei was doing there. That's on his own.
There's a bit of that.
It's a wild move. And do you know what? There's been questions about that, actually, for a while now for Liquid. It feels like, I don't want to call it like overconfidence for Shuhei, but he takes a lot of fights that they really, I'm left kind of question marking a little bit, and that's sort of one of them. It's such a strange move to do on your own. No util, no support, no numbers in that fight, and it just gives up what felt like a decent opportunity for Liquid. It's a nice shot from NertZ, I'll give him that, but it's a pure contact play by 3D Max. They're reacting, so they don't even really care about giving up one. Really nice response coming through. Still, quite a few question marks from Liquid in that one, but I love, again, the approach from 3D Max. Like I said, I wanted them to play it just a little bit more standoffish, a little bit more passive, and they do that. That's the kill I'm referencing, that Shuhei move. He's trying to move through the smokes, but it was, yeah, it just didn't work out.
Is it all too common? A question that might be raised.
Yeah.
Post-tournament, post-series, perhaps.
Feels like he needs to rein himself in. You know what I mean?
Maybe. It's tough to say, you know, obviously there's a few IGLs that have that sort of approach. Carrigan maybe is the most notable at times.
Sure.
But yeah, it's confusing when we have all that information. You're like, what is running through this guy's head? But then, as like objective viewers of the game, we perhaps lack the belief, you know, and that's one of the big things that a pro player obviously has to have, is the belief in their play, the belief in their mechanics to get the job done. Yeah,
and 3D Max had a bit of belief in this round finishing towards A, and how wrong they were. They gamble stacked all 4 over there immediately. It may seem like a very rogue call, but I actually understand it, right? You've lost the opening fight over towards the A site, but you do just make a split 50-50 call of, we've not got the numbers here, and if they do execute, if we play a normal 2-2 split, we're actually not going to win the round, or the chances are quite small. So let's bolster up, let's stick together. It's a complete coin flip, and unfortunately, the coin just doesn't land in their favor this time. It's one of those rounds where it's all about hindsight. In hindsight here, we're saying, okay, it was a bad gamble stack, but on the flip side, if they'd gone towards A, that would have been a bloodbath and most likely very unexpected by Liquid. And if it had gone out well, we'd be sitting here, you know, lumping on the praise for Graviti, saying, love that call, bold move, yada, yada. So it happens. Liquid, nice move to re-aggression towards Banana, though. And just, I guess, a bit of committing, saying, all right, let's just go for this, right? We've got the numbers here. We're already built up in towards top car. That's what we're going for. I can't really fault 3D Max, right? In that situation, to go for a gamble call, I think it is the right move. Yeah. It's a bit of Inferno coded as well. Very gamble heavy, very save heavy, right? And that's sort of how you have to play a lot of these CT sides. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. When we saw them the other day, when they were dominant on this map, a lot of gamble calls that were really quite successful. And in hindsight, we're saying, that's a fantastic map. It's just one that doesn't work out.
I mean, sometimes you wish you would see more of that from top teams, to be fair, right? It's like you've lost an early kill, and then you just play one guy on B. Like, obviously, he's going to get clapped by, like, a full X. It's not really going to do anything for you. You know, you're banking on him having, like, the 1 in 1,000 round or whatever to get, like, 3 kills and live. So,
you know, it's one of those, if you're being pedantic, maybe you could say leave 1 deep CT on B and 3A in that situation, right? And then stock them up with you two. Give them, you know, 2 or 3 smokes, 1 molly, a nade or something like that, right? And then maybe he can, like, slow time for the rotation, but ultimately it's so unlikely, right? They're not going to care about the smoke. They're just going to pop through it anyway. So it happens. It's what it is. We go again, round number 11, the penultimate of the half. And Liquid are starting to make something out of this T side at the very least.
3D Max recognize that, though. They take a timeout, so they are looking to shut it down. Nice. Lovely deep nade.
Oh, poor NertZ.
Indeed, really solid. He is softened up for the latter stages of this round, and still brave to peek in and line up the utility. Moving quick here, our 3D Max. The Molotov doesn't go out, actually. And there was one kind of in front of it, so a bit of a rarity to see that in CS2. No one on the other side to capitalize, but some small ticks done here. Maka.
He knows.
Timing so important. Will find the angle, will find the shot. Info picked up, gonna get another as well. Oh, imagine. Doesn't quite land it, but all the same, he's done so much for this round, looking to do a little bit more. Was he on the screen? He was round the corner, surely. Shuhei is slamming his desk. Ultimate, meanwhile, gets the first for Liquid, and all of a sudden, the 5-on-2 may well create a bomb plant, but I think the round itself is out of the question here.
It's just a clinic, isn't it, really, from Maka? He's just toying as well, poking that barrel around. He knows. He also just doesn't need to fight here. There's no need at all. Look at him. He's playing with his food as he keeps showing the barrel around the corner. It's so annoying to deal with. It's like a cat with a feather on a string, right? You can't take your eyes off it. Distracted all the way to the end. It comes back to what I was saying a bit earlier. I love watching Maka on these CT sides. He's so confident. He believes 100% of the time, I am the best player in this 50-50. I will win this fight. And when he plays at that and it works, it's such a joy to watch. really, really good. But also at the same time, he's not overconfident, right? He could have so easily... Yeah, I love it. He could have so easily have, you know, swung again, especially when he spots him over towards the barrel. He could have gone for that refight, the refight. He didn't need to. It's not this sort of over audacious approach that some people do get when they start getting out of a bit of a heater. 3 kills, you want to fight, you want to go for the ace.
Whoa. Oh. Maka again. Oh, it's the dink on the 5-7, just out of the range. Just out of the range for that instant headshot. This is not looking too good. A creeped angle as well for Ultimate that he might be able to get away with. Body is slowly... No! Oh my god, he does get the kill.
How's he got out?
Oh my goodness. And yeah, there was a nade in hand for Lucky, which is a bit awkward. Meanwhile, Graviti's having his own game over here. Slowly walking up. No info for him to really work with. The nade to finish off Lucky as well. Graviti reveals his location, so surely they're able to take him. Elige, confident, and rightly so. So Liquid will find that final round. It's the small buffer that can all be nullified by this upcoming pistol.
Yeah, it's actually a really nice round from Liquid to finish it off. I mean, we've had this now across all 3 maps where Liquid finish the half on a strong note at the very least, and they give themselves some level of something to work with in towards the second. But we go back to kind of what we've seen so far in this tournament, and for 3D Max, their T sides have been relentless. And I'm sure, without a doubt, that Liquid know this, especially letting this map go towards the third. They've obviously must have some level of preparation, but we saw just how brutal they can make CT sides for teams. 3D Max, they'll play consistent pressure rounds. I mean, they had like a streak, it was like 9 rounds in a row streak, and 7 of them were just B hits back to back. And they were taking fights in the first 10 seconds, taking top car control in the first 15, right? They make life horrible to play. So for these Banana players, they've got quite the task ahead of them. And we'll see whether they can find anything to work with. Crowd out here, of course, they're being treated. There's some beautiful Counter-Strike here in our first semi-final of the day. Of course, we have another to follow. Legacy taking on Heroic in that one.
Who you got?
I'm going Heroic. I'm here. I'm all here for the Hades Masterclass. Best player in the groups as well. Highest rated player so far in the tournament. I'm all here for the Hades show. Stand-in buff. But I do like what I've been seeing from Legacy. I mean, Legacy beat 3D Max, and it was a good series. So yeah, I think it's gonna be like a bit of a crazy one, a bit of a barn burner. But I'm going Heroic in that one. I'm going to lean with Hades.
I'd agree. And I do agree it is going to be a wild ride. This has also been a wild ride, and it's not quite over just yet. Don't know if we want to get off just yet either. Naf up close on those Julies.
Oh.
Graviti, though, is the one to watch. The P250 gets involved. Bomb plant coming in. You maybe look at this and it's like, you might as well just keep the head armor, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's like there's not much of a chance to break in. So really big deal for 3D Max. Not only did they get it, they walk straight into kind of the perfect setup to deal with them and still win.
Yeah.
So really looking good.
I mean, that is the definition of a textbook 3D Max round on the T side. We'll bring this up so many times throughout the C side as 3D Max start to scale into it, but it's this pack play. That's what they do so often. It's just, let's all stick together, let's just play for the trades. We know that basically in 9 times out of 10 on an execute, we're going to have the numbers advantage if we just stick as basically a full 5. They do this a lot, and they'll do this a lot in towards their gun rounds as well. But it's a really good pistol. It's a really nicely worked one. I don't think NertZ realizes his shoulders peering around the corner. Body, surely you swing for the fight. He'll die, but Ecstasy still trade. So you're happy with that. Dooley's picked up. He did have a P250, but he opts for the Doolies anyway. And 3D Max, once again, start well. We will get the bonus, or the force buy, may I say, out for Liquid. It's quite a big call, right? The force buy. Statistically, doesn't go too favorably on a seat when you lose the pistol. If they lose here, 3D Max find 9. And the 10th is also a bit of a gift because your money's broken. So dangerous waters that Team Liquid find themselves swimming in.
Early util out here. 3D Max feigning banana control, feigning the fact that they might be deep in banana. Meanwhile, they're actually out long, which is kind of perfect because Naf can't really hear them with his position. So yeah, he gets completely blindsided. What the hell's going on? 4 on B, and they might just pull away and take this save into the next, to be honest with you. Like, they lack just so much, control and information, and there's the pivot. They will indeed save it. So, strange game state. The hunt is on. Some money to be made for this MAC 10, but all the same, 3D Max secure yet another round.
Yeah. Maka goes looking in for one. It's only a MAC 10 drop, not the end of the world. As long as the AKs stay in play and aren't gifted over, doesn't really matter all too much. It's it's a really, really easy call by 3D Max. You just go back-to-back towards the A site, but you know that you have better firepower heading towards the A site. Ultimate, the chance at exits, and he gets one, in all fairness. So at least something here. They are trying to make things a bit more awkward for Liquid in towards the next round as they... Oh, she's going to use this buy once again, of course. But this is a... Yeah, it's a healthy lead now, right? For 3D Max, 9-5. You're 4 rounds ahead. You're 4 rounds away from booking your spot in towards that grand final. Time's ticking, Liquid. This is crunch time in this map, in this series. And it continues to add to the notion that we brought up, and the Desk brought up as well, of why did we go Inferno? Because I'm still yet to see any signs of why.
It's kind of true. It is kind of true. CT side's going to have to get off the ground quickly, but it's not going to happen just yet. There is still some scariness into this one, and Liquid are becoming very predictable. 4 on B in the previous round. Now 4 on A after it was hit quickly. And 3D Max have just got the absolute run of the roost here. Oh, NertZ is unlucky. The break just spreads to his smoke. I like the idea. It doesn't quite work. FAMA's going to get involved. Flash is strong. Onto the AK now as well for Shuhei. So suddenly there is a way back into this round. He's doing a T-execute while they're taking the site, apparently. But all the same, this is a very, very strange one to deal with once again. There's no kit available. There is just this one recovered Molotov in towards New Box. Perfect. MP9 gets it done at range. We might be on. Graviti trying to be the hero here as he takes a forward stance. Meanwhile, Lucky's on high. Graviti keeps him coming and Lucky finds his. Oh, and it's just the pace of it all. The aggression, the intensity of it all is so damn good from 3D Max. But they managed to keep their heads in all that.
Yeah, a bit of chaos, bit of carnage. 3D Max coming out on top, and that's all that matters. If you can make those really scrappy rounds work for you, it goes a long, long way. I thought this move by Shuhei was really good. I think he then doubts himself about how quickly he wants to play it. I think patience is the right call, but unfortunately, they just can't hit their shots. Graviti, I think, does so well. He's actually stuck in a really awkward position. He can't cross the dark, but he also at the same time is mollied out of New Box, and in the open, really fares quite well. Ultimate, very lucky to stay alive there in that opening engagement. Tagged down to less than half. 10-5 is the scoreline. Liquid are running out of chances. They are running out of time here.
But yeah, I feel like that's where a player like Graviti really thrives. You know, just an opportunity to show himself Matador in front of the bull kind of thing and really play it as close to the wire. And it's also where he can pop off when he's playing very, very well.
Yeah.
As he is here.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. One of those players that is just so confident. Not only now, of course, in his calling style, but just in his individual ability. Early util set by Liquid, and 3D Max, really smart approach, by the way. They just play super standoffish. And look at this by XSCs. He's gone loud about it. And in a way, he's now this decoy. He's this sort of warning system that they have to be really worried about on this flank. Shuhei, he's going to be clear. What a swing by body. And Maka will find his own. That's the B site open. And they can now leave XSCs to catch all the rotates. Liquid, you have to save. You cannot give this one a look in. And they already know it as they stay ingrained towards the A site. That move by XSCs is genius. He purposefully goes super loud about it to draw attention away and change the setup for Liquid. They actually have to play with that notion of we cannot be open to CT now, which you normally would be if you want to play up to as close in water or somewhere around pillar. Well done, 3D Max found 11. Liquid are being pulled apart. This B site, this is exactly what we saw the other day. We spoke about it. 9 rounds in a row by 3D Max when they really get going, and it's all B hits. And it doesn't matter how many players you put here, they will still absolutely decimate you.
Listen, man, without the crazy comeback on Dust2, this is a really actually 3D Max-sided series. So they took their eyes off the ball there. I think it is safe to say.
Yeah.
They've not really done that since. and they've had a very, very good run of things, particularly moving into like the second half of the maps, right? They just managed to find a crazy injection.
If you talk about it, we've 4 out of 6 halves. So we had the 6-all. We had the recovery, of course, from Liquid. They're the 2 halves, which are actually
8-4.
okay. 8-4, yeah. We had like what was, you know, as a whole, so an 8-4 and a 6-all. And the other 4 halves have been whitewashed, absolute massacres. So it is, yeah, you're spot on. If you just take out that one comeback, right, which credit to them was a really, really good resurgence from Liquid, it's actually been a really one-sided game, all things considered. I don't see it changing anytime soon. Liquid, there's been next to nothing on offer for this map as a whole, and especially in this second half. It was 7-5 half. Look where we're at. 11 now on the board for 3D Max. And potentially the last hurrah here, especially financially speaking. The full buy-in. They've got a bit of residual cash, but you lose this, you're in a lot of trouble. It's map and series point for 3D Max. Oh my.
Keeps them coming. I like the nade idea. I didn't think he was really going to pan out into anything, but Body has smashed them. Still have Shuhei here. He gets smoked off. He's just trying to buy a bit of space. He only had 8 bullets to his name, though, so he can't really slow them down all that much. The flash going to come in. They're so expectant of it, though.
Yeah.
They were egging it on.
Yeah.
They weren't rushing the bomb plant. They were ready for that move, and it's Liquid to save once again.
They were so ready for their 2 players playing anti-flash. The water player and one of the banana guys. So really, really well done. They know every page of this Liquid strat book at the moment, and none of it phases them. Doesn't matter what Liquid are throwing at them, nothing's sticking.
It's that moment in the Matrix where Neo figures it out.
Did I?
Yeah, you were in that.
Yeah, I was, yeah. Named
But,
after
you know,
it,
where
as
it
I've
all
been
just-
told 1,000 times in my life.
Yeah, of course. It all just slows down, you know, and he figures it out. I think that's kind of how 3D Max are playing.
Yeah.
See, 'cause I say Neo, which is what?
Which is correct.
Right.
Yeah. For
Well,
those
written
who...
down.
Yeah. The average person will see Neo and they will call me Neo. And I don't correct them because I don't really care, to be honest. But my mom will say it's Neo. It's not Neo. But...
Yeah. We gotta look that up. There might be a convergence of like when the movie came out and.
No, it's actually just like a really common name in South Africa.
Right, okay,
like,
okay.
It's pretty common. It's like a unisex name as well, so there's a lot of girls call it too.
Gotcha.
But I was born like a month after it, so it's pretty
There's something
unfortunate.
in there.
It's pretty
There's
unfortunate.
something in there, mate.
It's pretty unfortunate. I've heard it all my life. Are you named after? No, I'm not. I'm not.
Gets a bit annoying at a certain point. You know, I'm sure, you know, early on it's like, yeah, that's cool, isn't it? You know, I'm in a movie, but
Yeah, no.
after 20 years of that.
3D Max, map and series point for them now. And my God, I mean, what a showing here on Inferno. It has been a clinic nearly all the way throughout. And Liquid, what can they do now? Is there anything left in the locker? Can they find a second win to recover? We'll have to wait and see. A missed shot by Ultimate. But Body this time not as clinical on the entries. He was great last round. Ultimate, you've got to hit that shot. A miss and a swing. A find from Graviti. And in the flames, Shuhei forced back. This could be all crumbling at the seams right here, right now. 3 versus 3, and there's no surprises that 3D Max go back towards B. They've had so much success here, Scrib, that why not do it again?
Oh, the break on the smoke. I mean, he might have been better off just sort of spraying through. There was a flash in there that maybe scares him off as well. A quick boost up here, but Elige gets nervous, misses his opportunity. There is one found in that smoke to give the numbers advantage across the Team Liquid, but they have to do something with this. Absolutely need to win this.
Oh.
Nice find from Naf. It's all going to be on Exorcist. There's a couple low HP members. He keeps his cool for 2 behind the pillar, looking strong, but Naf will drop him, and Liquid survive just about.
You could see it. You could feel that clutch there. He had the right idea. He'd worked it all out. He just needed that crosshair to be rightly placed, but he couldn't quite find it. Oh, Liquid survived by the skin of their teeth in this map series and semi-final. Not done just yet. We go again. Liquid, I want to say get a little lucky, but it's actually not bad in the retake. I'll give him credit. Right, Shuhei finds a very important one. Puts us into a spot where they're still breathing for now. There's still a little life left in. We asked for that second wind, and that could be the start of it. It's just the fact that for 3D Max, they're just not going to be phased at all. They're in such a comfortable spot that their confidence is not going to get knocked in any way.
Really solid nade there onto Lucky to kick things off. Oh, forcing something at mid, but it doesn't work. A trade of damage, but Liquid with the lead here. We've seen them pull off a pretty crazy comeback, not under these kinds of parameters, but they have hit the numbers that they would need here. But it's a very different beast, isn't it? When you look at that score at the top, you got that klaxon at the start of the round that reminds you of where you are. So we'll see if they can keep it together for 6 in a row.
I think it's important that Liquid have found Exorcise early. He's just so influential in a lot of these rounds. I think especially in terms of giving them space to work with. But Body, he's been the main one who's been quite relentless, at least in towards B, but it's Graviti and Lucky who both drop as Shuhei lines them up. Been a bit of a slow map from him, but now's the time, but he goes ahead of the flash. So Body was blinded, but it was after he'd already got the kill.
Maka contacting, spots a barrel. The 1 kill is not going to be enough. Body, meanwhile, can he get anything done? The answer is no. Elige with a vertical change makes it happen.
Okay. So now, we actually do have a bit of a breather. Money is broke over towards 3D Max. You probably have to take a little bit of a step back in terms of the investment this round. Upgraded pistols, bit of util. They can maybe hero AK it if they wanted to. I don't think it's worth it, to be perfectly honest. Just full reset. Looks like Lucky will keep enough money on deck if Maka wants the AWP next round. I don't actually know if they'll go for it, though. I do like what they've been doing just with the rifles across the board. But, yeah, a bit of a reset round here. So, at least Liquid showing finally a bit of oomph on the CT side, but it just is the question, is it too little too late?
We're about to find out. And we'll see as well if 3D Max have got anything in their back pocket. NertZ with a well-timed spray. Flash comes in, but yeah, look, he's just so blind. No one around to support him, so they've done well here. They've done well here to stem the tide. 3D Max don't find anything, and they're so unconvinced they're actually just going to back off. So 5-on-3 with now no utility and just the Tech-9's definitely not going to happen.
Yeah, and the immediate 2 kills that come towards B, it felt like the pretty standard thing for 3D Max to do there is just go for a B rush, which has been pretty good for them in the gun rounds, but nice kind of stand-up approach by NertZ. It's that first kill as well, the spam, just getting both Lucky and Body out the way. I mean, Body's the real threat when it comes towards the early rounds for 3D Max. Nullifying him. Pretty important. Heading back towards A, we're going to pop out a bulk, it seems. The bomb is going to be late coming through short. We made noise here, Maka, so you may as well go. But they just walk straight into the casket. Such an easy round. Barely any damage dealt. 2 points on towards NertZ is as good as it gets for 3D Max in that one. So a complete shutdown, which is, I mean, it's a positive sign, right? I mean, at least we now have proof in the pudding that they can do it.
4 more to go. And all to play for here for Team Liquid, looking to stay alive and get that grand final spot here at the CS Asia Championships 2025. No mean feat for the team that are certainly capable. Oh, Lucky going to take a fair bit of damage, but he does survive the early nadage. Looking to find this first frag. If he plays his cards right, nade doesn't quite land. And he will back off, so B seems to be a no-go for 3D Max.
I think it is a smart move from them as well. Because of the early presence, I just don't think it's worthwhile trying to chance your way through that. They're going to try and pop in towards top mid, and in all fairness, they've got good control. They're broken open the smoke. Ecstasy spotted towards Boiler. It is keeping attention drawn here, and Elige, you are so fortunate to get out of there alive.
Oh,
I say that.
Yeah, you spoke a bit too, only a little bit too soon.
Oh, NertZ. I don't like that move. He was the B anchor. He was the last remaining pillar. Shuei's going to rotate over, but he's walking straight in towards the pack. This could be curtains here in the map and this series. 2 remainers, Ultimate and Naf. I've got a retake at a man disadvantage. This is a brutal position for them. I think this one's done here. 3D Max, they go back to basics. A late move towards that B site, and Liquid just couldn't respond in time. NertZ caught in the open. Ultimate caught by Lucky, and it's all on the shoulders of Nafly. A 1 versus 4 to bail them out here and to deny 3D Max going to the finals, but he can't. The quick trade and the find is 3D Max, who booked their spot in towards the grand final.
They do indeed, Neo. We thought 3D Max had an edge going into this third and final map of Inferno, but turns out that slight edge was a massive blade cutting Team Liquid in half, sending them to the third place